Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Brandon Rosa, and welcome to episode 129 of the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. Every Monday, this podcast covers new game releases, the previous week's gaming news, and we all learn an Xbox-related fun fact together. This show is on YouTube and podcast services around the world, so please subscribe on your favorite. Do me that favor, and then leave a review. Xboxin10.com, no numbers, is your quick source for links to all of our podcast destinations and social media profiles, which you can follow at Xboxin10. To start, let's talk game releases. The big games out last week were the early access to Battlefield 2042, Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy The Definitive Edition, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas The Definitive Edition on Game Pass, and the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition. The games coming out this week include Surviving the Aftermath, The Smurfs Mission Belief, Grow Song of the Evertree, Kingdom 2 Crowns Norselands, Far Cry 6 Voss Insanity, Clang 2, Next Space Rebels, Them Bombs, Chef's Tale, Tamarin, XO1, Blood Rain Revamped, Blood Rain 2 Revamped, Space Moth, Lunar Edition, Undungeoned, Despotism 3K, 200 Ways, and Nerf Legends. Now with last week's biggest news stories, and we have 6 to cover this week. Number 1, 2 new Xbox exclusives reportedly leaked, including a single-player Southern Gothic adventure. George Yang at IGN writes, details have seemingly been leaked about the 2 new Xbox exclusives from Compulsion Games, formerly known for We Happy Few, and Obsidian Entertainment, known for The Outer Worlds. The former of which is designed as a single-player, quote, Southern Gothic adventure, end quote. According to Windows Central, Compulsion's first games with Microsoft is codenamed Midnight, is reportedly a third-person action game set in a dark and fantastical world. Leaked images show a protagonist with dark-skinned braided hair, a harpy creature going through various stages of transformation, and something that looks like a harpy nest. Midnight apparently draws its inspirations from America's Deep South and is a coming-of-age story. It is also a solely single-player game. It apparently won't be ready for an official reveal or launch until the next few years. However, last month, the We Happy Few developer mentioned that it was working on a new third-person, story-driven title, and Midnight certainly seems to fit the bill. The second game comes from Obsidian Entertainment, codenamed Pentament. A 12-person team is developing this game and is led by John Sawyer, who previously worked on Fallout New Vegas and Pillars of Eternity. GamesBeat Jeff Grubb said that Pentiment draws inspiration from games like Disco Elysium and will be a narrative RPG rather than a combat-focused one. The game is reportedly a murder mystery set in the 16th century in which players will be able to investigate and accuse other characters in the game. However, these accusations have consequences. If you're wrong, then a snowball effect occurs. The game will slowly unfold into a full-blown conspiracy. The team is also reportedly experimenting with several different gameplay mechanics, but some might not make it into the final product. Grubb says Pentiment is aiming for a 2022 launch. If correct, it means Obsidian is very busy right now as the studio is also working on Avowed and The Outer Worlds too. This is really cool. I hope a lot of what is coming from this leak is true. Specifically from Compulsion Games, this game is being regarded as heavily story-focused, and Xbox really needs that big blockbuster third-person action story game to compete with Sony's stellar lineup. Number 2, Microsoft is, quote, definitely making, end quote, a new version of 1 vs 100, report. Sean Carey at True Achievements writes, a new version of the classic Xbox 360 quiz game 1 vs 100 is, quote, definitely, end quote, in the works, according to journalist Jeff Grubb. In the latest episode of Grubb Snacks over on Giant Bomb, Grubb claimed that a new version of the game is being spearheaded by the Altspace VR team, who is a part of Microsoft's mixed reality division. Grubb says the game will utilize Microsoft's team's new 3D avatars that were announced last week. Quote, 1 vs 100 is coming back, end quote, Grubb said. Quote, they are definitely making that game. It seems like it's coming from the Altspace VR team. They're spearheading the project, and all of the avatars we saw in the Microsoft Teams thing that they debuted a few weeks ago, they're going to use those avatars and they're going to bring that stuff in, end quote. Xbox boss Phil Spencer has previously hinted that Microsoft could be developing some sort of trivia game. During a FanFest live stream, Spencer said, quote, maybe we should even be building our own trivia game, like from our past, that allows people to play a trivia game more often. Maybe that could happen, ... end quote. Spencer also told Survivor in 2019 that Microsoft, quote, should do it again, end quote, when asked about a new 1 vs 100. This is so exciting. What a moment in time this game was. It was so unique back then, and I think it could really thrive now. Not wait to see what comes of this, and hopefully we find out sooner rather than later. Number 3, Forza Horizon 5 is Xbox Game Studios' biggest launch ever. Jared Moore at IGN writes, Xbox boss Phil Spencer has said that Forza Horizon 5 is Xbox Game Studios' biggest ever launch. In a tweet, the studio had revealed that successful start for the latest installment of the racing series, stating that it had enjoyed the largest launch day for an Xbox Game Studios title ever. Spencer's tweets reveals that Forza Horizon 5 has within just days reached 4.5 million players across PC, cloud, and console. He also noted that since launch, Forza Horizon 5 has seen a peak concurrent number of players 3 times higher than that of its predecessor, Forza Horizon 4, a factor that could be down to the growing popularity of Xbox Game Pass. It is awesome to see this game get the credit it deserves. I, for one, am not a big racing game franchise player, but I did dip my toes into Forza Horizon 4. It was beautiful, played great. Racing games, just not for me. I played about an hour of Forza Horizon 5, and it's probably the best looking game I've seen running that fast. Credit to Xbox Game Studios for finally having their big success story, especially with Xbox Game Pass. Number 4. EA has reportedly greenlit a new Fight Night game. Sean Curry had True Achievements writes, a new entry in the EA's popular Fight Night boxing game series has reportedly been greenlit and has entered early development. According to a report from reliable insider Tom Henderson over at VGC, sources with knowledge of EA's plans have said that a new Fight Night game, codenamed Moneyball, is currently in early development. However, the game is likely several years away from release, as EA Canada has decided to pause the game's development to prioritize the next EA Sports UFC game, which is planned to launch in late 2022. I know there was a lot of original Fight Night game fans. This was that one game on the original Xbox that was the showstopper for graphics at the time. Me, don't really care about boxing, but I know there's probably so many people that would be so excited to see this game franchise come back. Number 5. Phil Spencer says Xbox is looking to buy social and casual game developers. Tom Ivan of VGC writes, the head of Microsoft's gaming business has said Xbox is targeting acquisitions in the casual and social game spaces. In an interview with Bloomberg, Phil Spencer said he wants Xbox's first-party software lineup to include more casual content with a broad appeal. Quote, when I think about the kinds of genres that are usually associated with Xbox, yes, we have Roblox, we have Minecraft, we have FIFA and Fortnite, but we want to continue to invest in more social, casual content that's out there. We have a lot of ambition, end quote. It's not the first time Spencer has said Microsoft is looking to grow its casual first-party output. Quote, if we look what people are playing on Xbox, what Xbox Game Pass subscribers are playing, I think it's missing from our portfolio is casual content with a broad appeal, end quote, he told Game Reactor in October of 2022. Quote, E-rated content, to use an ESRB rating, is not a strength for us. We obviously have Minecraft and we have some other franchises, but when I think about expanding the creative palette that our teams have, I think that it's critically important, end quote. In my opinion, I think this is obviously a big missing gap from Xbox Game Studios in their portfolio. Sony obviously has the third-person action game, which Microsoft needs to deliver on, but Sony actually also has a lot of casual-friendly games. At least just on the PS5 at launch, they had Sackboy's Big Adventure, and then they also had Astrobot, which was just a darling of a game and everyone could enjoy. Xbox needs to deliver more on this front, and it seems like they will in the years to come. Number 6. Back 4 Blood roadmap reveals new co-op mode, difficulty, and solo offline release timing. George Yang at IGN writes, Back 4 Blood is going to get a bunch of new features starting in December and into 2022. These include heavily requested features like a new co-op mode, new difficulty level, and even an offline mode. Turtle Rock has announced that this month the team will focus on various quality of life improvements and bug fixes. The biggest feature coming in December is an offline solo mode with campaign progression. This was a much requested feature since playing Back 4 Blood requires an internet connection even when playing solo. Also in December there will be a new supply line and cards as well as a new ridden practice area, card type, and a holiday seasonal event. In 2022, there will be even more content such as a new difficulty level, new co-op mode, melee updates, and additional quality of life improvements as well as both new player and corruption cards. Back 4 Blood's first story expansion, Tunnels of Terror, will also launch in 2022. It's part of the game's annual pass and introduces new playable characters and written types. The pass comes with new weapons, cards, skins, and a new activity type. Expansions 2 and 3 are scheduled to launch later in 2022. All good things to hear from this game. I probably played about 8 hours or so and I really wanted to play more. Life has just been so busy and I gotta get my friends back on that grind when I find some free time. As always, we end our show with a fun fact about Xbox, and since we talked about our rumored next Compulsion games, let's do a little history lesson on them, thanks to Wikipedia. Compulsion Games Inc. is a Canadian video game developer and a studio of Xbox Game Studios based in Montreal. Established in 2009 by ex-Arcane Studios developer Guillaume Prevost, the studio developed the 2013 puzzle platformer Contrast and the 2018 survival horror game We Happy Few. Just a little bit of inside baseball on the studio. As Compulsion really doesn't have a highly regarded track record, Xbox must have really liked what they saw prototyping for this next game. I can't wait to see it. They need that third-person action game to compete with Sony. Let's focus on the story, let's deliver good gameplay, and let's get a nice 10 out of 10. Right? Hope for the stars. Thank you all for listening to Xbox in 10 Podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. If you like the show, please subscribe on your favorite podcast service, share it with your friends, leave a review, and follow on all social media at Xbox in 10. This past week, I've been jumping around just a little bit. Played a little bit more of Guardians of the Galaxy, played about an hour of Forza Horizon 5, really enjoying my time with both, And if you're listening to this on Monday, hey, let's all hope these rumors are true, which I didn't touch on this week in the news, but that Halo Infinite multiplayer will be launching on the 20th Anniversary Edition stream this Monday, November 15th. Let's hope that's happening, because you can bet I'll be playing some Halo Infinite all this week. My name is Brandon Rosa. You can follow me on Xbox at Brosa93. Hope you all have a great week, stay safe, and keep on gaming.